If you're a man over 65, I want you to pause, stop what you're doing, and give me your attention for a moment. Because it's very likely that one of the vegetables your own doctor recommended, one you have in your fridge right now thinking it's healthy, is silently sabotaging your energy, inflaming your prostate, and stealing the vitality you cherish so much. Hello, I'm Dr. Grace, and for years in my clinical practice, I've seen hundreds of men like you come to my office feeling frustrated, tired, and confused because despite eating healthily, they feel weaker every day. The truth that modern medicine sometimes overlooks is that the most powerful solution isn't always in a pill bottle. It's on your plate. What if I told you that some vegetables, yes, vegetables, are loaded with compounds that mimic female hormones in your body and block the essential minerals for your masculinity? In this video, I'll reveal the 3 vegetable enemies you must avoid at all costs. And more importantly, I'll introduce 3 forgotten heroes, 3 vegetables that, according to science, can help you regain your strength, improve circulation, and protect your testosterone naturally in a matter of weeks. Stick around until the end, because I'll give you an extra tip on how to prepare them to maximize their benefits and feel strong even past 80. But before I share these game-changing secrets, if you find this information helpful, please take a second to subscribe to Intimate and Active After 60 and hit the bell. That way, you won't miss any videos designed to help you live your best years with strength and clarity. And if this topic feels important to you, write health in the comments. That lets me know what content matters most to you. Your engagement helps me create better videos for you. All right, let's start with the vegetable that's probably the most controversial and shocks my patients the most: soy. Let me tell you about Charles, a dear patient of mine, 68 years old, a retired history teacher from Miami, a brilliant man with a sharp mind, but he came to my office feeling defeated. "Doctor," he said in a low voice, "I don't know what's wrong with me. My heart is healthy, my mind is fine, but I feel drained, unmotivated, and intimacy with my wife just isn't the same anymore." His blood tests showed something interesting. His cholesterol was perfect, but his testosterone was at the low end, and his estrogen levels, the female hormone, were unusually high for a man. I asked about his diet. Proudly, he shared that, on his cardiologist's advice, he'd swapped most red meat and dairy for heart-healthier options. His daily diet included smoothies with soy protein, tofu in his salads, and soy milk with his oatmeal. That's when it clicked. Soy, despite its superfood reputation, is the richest source of phytoestrogens. Think of phytoestrogens as plant-based imposters. They're molecules that, in a man's body, mimic the action of estrogen. For a man over 65, whose testosterone levels are already naturally declining, adding these imposters to your diet is like pouring fuel on the fire. The hormonal imbalance worsens. The result, less desire, more fatigue, loss of muscle mass, and, in Charles's case, fading erectile function. The issue isn't soy itself, which in moderation and in its traditional fermented form, like in some Asian cultures, can be harmless. The problem is the silent invasion of processed soy in our modern diet. It's in protein bars, sauces, meat substitutes, and hundreds of packaged products. The plan for Charles was simple. We eliminated processed soy and replaced it with clean protein sources like eggs, free-range chicken, and fish. In less than a month, Charles came back to my office. His energy had returned, but the real proof of his improvement came in a note from his wife. It simply said, "Doctor, thank you for giving me my husband back." Now, let's move to the second enemy, one that's central to our culture in the US. But in its modern form, it's silently making us sick. I'm talking about corn, and let me be very clear here. I'm not talking about the corn on the cob you grill at a barbecue or the traditional corn tortillas. I'm talking about corn that's been ultra-processed by the industry into high-fructose corn syrup, refined corn oil, and cornstarch. These ingredients are everywhere, in sodas, sliced bread, cookies, sauces, and nearly every processed food you can imagine. I remember James, a 62-year-old patient from Houston, a hardworking man always focused on doing the right thing. He came to me with persistent joint pain and unrelenting fatigue. Plus, he shyly admitted he was struggling with erectile dysfunction. He told me that, to protect his heart, he'd swapped butter for margarine and olive oil for corn-based vegetable oil because the label said it was cholesterol-free. Ironically, His attempts to be healthy were inflaming him from the inside. The problem with processed corn is its sky-high content of omega-6 fatty acids. Your body needs omega-6, yes, but in a delicate balance with omega-3, found in fish, nuts, and flaxseed. The modern diet has obliterated that balance. Today, we consume up to 20 times more omega-6 than we should. When that ratio breaks, your body enters a state of low-grade chronic inflammation. Think of it as a small fire that never goes out inside you. That inflammation damages the endothelium, the sensitive lining of your arteries. And it's the endothelium that produces a magic molecule called nitric oxide, responsible for relaxing and opening blood vessels so blood can flow with force. If the endothelium is damaged, nitric oxide production plummets. The result? Stiff arteries, high blood pressure, and poor blood flow to every part of the body, including the penis. With James, the solution was straightforward. We eliminated all refined corn and soy vegetable oils. We drastically increased his omega-3 intake with salmon, sardines, and a high-quality fish oil supplement. In a month, his joint pain eased, his morning fatigue vanished, and one morning, for the first time in years, he had his morning potency back, the clearest sign his vascular health was improving. The third and final enemy is the most paradoxical because it's a favorite in gyms and healthy diets: spinach. More specifically, large amounts of raw spinach. Michael, a 67-year-old patient from Boston, was a fitness enthusiast. Every morning, without fail, he made a huge green smoothie packed with raw spinach, thinking he was giving his body a nutrient cocktail. Yet, he felt weaker and weaker, and his vigor had faded. His tests revealed low testosterone and, surprisingly, very low zinc levels, despite his diet including zinc-rich foods. What was the problem? The culprit is a chemical called oxalate. Raw spinach is one of the richest sources of oxalates out there. In your digestive tract, oxalates act like little mineral thieves. They bind to vital minerals like calcium and, crucially, zinc, and drag them out of your body before you can absorb them. As we've discussed, zinc is pure gold for a man. It's a cornerstone for testosterone production and prostate health. So, with every sip of his super healthy smoothie, Michael was unknowingly robbing his body of the mineral it needed most to maintain his virility. Does this mean you should stop eating spinach? Absolutely not. Spinach is a wonderful source of magnesium and other nutrients. The key isn't what, but how. Simply cooking spinach, even sautéing it for a few minutes, drastically reduces its oxalate content. This frees up the minerals and lets your body finally absorb them. When Michael swapped his raw smoothie for an omelet with sautéed spinach, his zinc and testosterone levels started climbing within weeks. His strength and spirit returned. Now that you know the hidden adversaries on your plate, let's turn the tables. Let's talk about the power of rebuilding. I'll introduce 3 vegetables I consider absolutely essential for men over 65. They're not exotic or expensive. In fact, they're so common most men overlook them. Our first hero, and the undisputed champion of circulation, is the beet. If poor circulation and high blood pressure are the enemy, beets are your personal army. Beets are one of the richest natural sources of dietary nitrates. Don't confuse these with the harmful nitrates in processed meats. When you eat beets, your body converts these natural nitrates into nitric oxide. And as we've seen, nitric oxide is the master molecule that relaxes and widens your blood vessels, letting blood flow with vigor throughout your body. Think of it as turning a kinked garden hose into a powerful fire hydrant. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition showed that regular beet juice consumption can significantly lower blood pressure and improve endothelial function in mere hours. But here's the detail most people miss, and it's critical. How you consume it matters. Canned or pickled beets you find at the grocery store lose much of their magic. The extreme heat of canning destroys a significant portion of those healthy nitrates. Worse, the pickling process loads them with sodium and vinegar, which can constrict your arteries, neutralizing the benefit you're after. To get their full power, you need fresh beets, grated in a salad, lightly roasted in the oven, or steamed. That's the key to unlocking their true circulatory potential. Our second hero is a champion of hormonal balance, but it comes with an instruction manual: broccoli. True male vitality isn't just about having more testosterone, it's about keeping excess estrogen in check. Broccoli, along with other cruciferous vegetables like cauliflower or Brussels sprouts, contains a game-changing compound called sulforaphane. This substance is an incredible ally for older men. It helps your liver detoxify and eliminate excess estrogen from your body, naturally creating a more testosterone-friendly hormonal environment. Plus, it reduces systemic inflammation and is a powerful protector of prostate health. But, and this is a big but, sulforaphane is extremely heat sensitive. If you boil broccoli until it's mushy and lifeless, or worse, microwave it, you destroy most of this therapeutic component. What's left is inert fiber, sure, but without the protective power your body needs. Remember James, my patient with inflammation. He told me he ate broccoli every night, but when I asked how he prepared it, he said, I microwave it for 5 minutes until it's really soft. Unknowingly, he was annihilating the very nutrient his body craved. The right way is to steam it for no more than 3 or 4 minutes until it's crisp and bright green, or even eat it raw with a healthy dip. It's a small change, but for a man over 65, small repeated habits are what build or break your health. This brings us to our final forgotten hero, and this one, gentlemen, is the silent guardian of your testosterone: mushrooms. Yes, mushrooms, especially the common white button mushrooms you find in any grocery store. They're far more than just a pizza or salad ingredient. They're a natural pharmacy for male hormonal wellness. Let me go back to Michael, the runner. While his zinc levels improved after cooking his spinach, he felt his competitive drive and vigor still weren't 100%. A piece of his hormonal puzzle was missing. That piece was a sneaky enzyme that gets more active as men age, called aromatase. Think of aromatase as a testosterone thief. Its job in the body is to convert your precious testosterone into estrogen. As you age, especially if there's a bit of extra belly fat, aromatase activity ramps up. In other words, this enzyme is stealing your testosterone and turning it into the female hormone before you can use it. Here's where the beauty of mushrooms comes in. Research from the Beckman Research Institute shows that common white button mushrooms contain substances that act as natural aromatase inhibitors. They don't directly boost testosterone production, instead they act like bodyguards. They protect the testosterone you already have, stopping the enzyme from converting it into estrogen. This means more of your testosterone stays in your bloodstream as free, active testosterone ready to do its job, give you vitality, vigor, mental clarity, and muscle mass. When I told Michael to add sautéed mushrooms with garlic and olive oil a few times a week, the final piece clicked. He called me a month later. There was a new depth to his voice. "This is it, doctor," he said. "The drive is back. It's not a frantic energy. It's a quiet, confident strength I haven't felt in over 10 years. We've unmasked the vegetables you should avoid or prepare with care. Soy for its hormonal impact, processed corn for its inflammatory load, and excess raw spinach for its zinc-stealing ability. And we've uncovered the 3 heroes you should include in your diet: fresh beets for circulation, properly prepared broccoli for hormonal balance, and mushrooms to protect your testosterone levels. But as promised for those who stayed until the end, here's the extra tip that will supercharge everything else. We talked about zinc and magnesium, but there's a third mineral most men overlook that can dramatically boost your testosterone. Your bonus tip is boron, the forgotten mineral of male vigor. Boron, yes, is a trace element few pay attention to, but science shows it's incredibly potent. Boron helps reduce a protein in your blood called SHBG. Think of SHBG as a security guard that handcuffs your testosterone, rendering it inactive and useless. By lowering SHBG, boron helps increase your free testosterone, the kind that actually matters for strength, energy, and vigor. How do you get boron? You don't need expensive supplements. Foods like dates, raisins, and yes, our hero, avocado, are excellent sources. Adding a few dates to your smoothie or a handful of raisins to your snack is a simple way to ensure the testosterone your body produces is actually usable. It's the invisible force that makes everything else work better. These are the fundamentals, but I'm sure many of you have more questions or want to learn more. If this video helped you or someone you love, take a moment to like, share, and leave a comment below. Your story, your questions, or even a simple thank you can inspire another man to start his journey to better health. I read every comment, and your input shapes the future of this channel. Show this video to any man over 65 struggling with his vitality, intimacy, or confidence. It could have a bigger impact than any medication. And to never miss our upcoming conversations, click the subscribe button and hit the bell. Together, we can redefine what it means to age with grace and, above all, with strength. Thank you for your trust and for being part of this journey. Take care.